How to set up a home video studio for audio tracking and video production. And I'm making a 2.1 system, which means I have a stereo pair of speakers and a subwoofer. My original studio was messy and cluttered. First, you need to set up your studio ergonomically, then do acoustic treatment. Ironically, cleaning up my home studio took more time than anything else in this project. It took me many days. I did this over a period of about 3 weeks. Here's my original setup. I'm in the corner with a 2.1 system. I'm running pink noise to test it. And I'm using a Dayton Audio measurement microphone. I'm using Room EQ Wizard to do the test, which is a program I downloaded from the internet. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is the room before treatment. You can hear it's very echoey. I also set up the Zoom recorder to record how music sounds through the system both before and after room treatment. I also did pink noise tests and other tests with the measurement microphone. You can make pink noise with a program like Audacity. For test, I used pink noise and tone sweeps. Also open up Audacity and tell it to generate a tone sweep, which will make a tone that goes from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, which is the range of human hearing. You can also generate pink noise in that program. Measuring my room and putting the desk in exactly the center axis of the room. I'm also moving my speakers off the table because the sound is bouncing off the table and interfering with itself, and moving them onto speaker stands on foam rubber pads that decouple the sound. I have M Audio AV40 speakers. So you have an equilateral triangle and your head is at one of the points. You set up your system on a triangle with everything about 1 meter apart, and your head as at one corner of the triangle. You want to dampen first reflection points by putting up sound absorption. When sound crashes into a wall, it bounces back and interferes with itself. When the sound waves sum and it's of a wavelength relative to the room, it forms a standing wave. However, these waves are not just in 2 dimensions, they're in 3 dimensions, and they're distributed throughout the room. If your head is at a peak in the standing wave, the sound is twice as loud. But if your head moves to a null, you hear nothing at all. This is Steve Hartman. He's an acoustician.
Excellent.
He worked for Oralex, but now he's an independent contractor.
Yo, 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 yo. What I'm doing is I'm putting together this exterior frame for a broadband low frequency absorber. So it's basically making a 2 foot by 4 foot panel with absorption characteristics all the way down to 40 hertz. It's the depth it is because I've discovered that the 3 to 3.5 inch depth I can achieve a broad range of low frequency absorption characteristics depending on what I stuff in the panel frame. Frame's basically assembled, we'll check for square, put glue in, and it's done. It's the exterior dimensions it is, because I've found that the least expensive way to achieve this low frequency absorption is to utilize Rockwool or fiberglass, which comes in standard 2 foot by 4 foot roughly dimensions. The purpose and placing of this panel will depend on the room dimensions. Currently I'm thinking that these will be corner traps in Bryn's roughly square room.
And, alright. Okay, how's it going?
It's all right now. Just what I want to do is put it down and pick which corner we want to start on.
Yeah.
But that ought to be plenty good.
I'm placing my bass panels in the corners because that's where the subwoofer frequencies build up. Here I'm placing a piece of studio foam on a door, and I also placed another piece of studio foam on the opposite wall. In order to set your subwoofer up, remember earlier when we talked about the standing waves, the interference patterns are especially bad at the bass frequency. You want to set it up at the listening position, then you can crawl around on the floor and hear where the tone sweeps are. It's more reasonable to take a measurement mic and use pink noise. You want to set the subwoofer at the appropriate crossover frequency. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Good. You want to position the speakers so that the tweeter is shooting sound directly behind your ears. You want the speakers directly facing you, and you want them to be exactly 1 meter from the listening position. This speaker is also directly facing the listening position, and it's 1 meter. Testing 1, 2, 3. There's still some flutter echo, but it's greatly reduced. Reverb time has been shortened.
Conservative Christian, right-wing Republican, straight white American male, gay bashing, black fearing, war fighting, tree killing, regional leaders of sales.
Killing time, here losing, guarded against the glare of night, set drifting, unguided, as long as if we were the dead.
My head feels like a bruise, paid twice its normal size. My head feels like a bruise, paid twice its normal size.
The sound in the room has been greatly improved. It sounds better to me. I think the Zoom recordings sound better, and the curves on the tone sweep are also much better. End of story, man.